Hello! In this video I will show you 3 progressions to the LeetCode Palindrome Number problem. It is important to understand different solutions for the same problem, as it might help you to demonstrate your ability to adapt and find different approaches to the same issue. Those 3 approaches need different coding skills which might also be useful during an interview. A palindrome number is a number which reads forwards and backwards the same way, for example 121. No matter from which side you read it, it will be the same. The problem asks us to write a code which would find out if the number is a palindrome or not. We can notice an important detail in the second example. Negative numbers cannot be palindromes, so we don't need to test them. So the first thing we will do in each approach is to return false if the number is less than 0. The first solution is clever and the easiest to implement. We can convert the number to string, revert the string, and compare against the original. If the strings are equal, it's a palindrome. In order to implement this approach, we need to convert the integer to string. Next, we will need to reverse the string, and finally, return the result of comparison between the original and reversed string. At this point, we could get asked to solve a problem without reversing the string. That could happen if the interviewer would want to test our ability to iterate a string. This brings us to the second approach. We would still need to convert the integer to string, but now, instead of reversing the string, we will have 2 pointers that will start at the beginning of a string and at the end. We will move those towards the middle. With each step, we will compare the character at the start iterator to the character at the end iterator. If those are not equal, the number is not a palindrome. If those are equal, we can move both by 1 place towards the middle. In order to implement that, we will reuse the first part and convert the number into a string. Then, we will mark down the start index and the end index. Don't forget to subtract 1 from the end, as the array indexing starts at 0, so the last element will be at array size -1. Then, we will launch a while loop and will iterate while the start is less than the end, or, in simpler terms, until they meet. At each iteration, we will test if the characters at both iterators are equal. If those are not equal, we need to return false, as we're literally reading the string from both ends at the same time, and those need to be equal for the number to be a palindrome. After the check, we move both iterators by 1 place towards the middle. If the while loop ends and we didn't find any mismatches, we output true as the number is a palindrome. And the final progression, which is the same as in the follow-up section of the problem, is to solve the problem without converting to the string. This is a nice progression for an interview, as it will force the candidate to change approaches on the fly and will test some math skills. The idea of the solution is that you will need to disassemble the number into each individual digit for comparison, at which point you could use the second approach, or you can reassemble the number in reverse order and use the first approach. This will be the way we will discuss. So, in order to disassemble the number, you will need to use 2 operations, modulo and division. Modulo operation will return a number of the division, and division operation will return a rounded down result of the division. So, 121 mod 10 will be equal 1, and 121 divided by 10 will be equal 12. Using those 2 operations, we can take the last digit and decrease the number by 1 digit, which is the result we want. Now, instead of storing the digits, we will assemble a new number which will be the reverse of the original, as with each step we would take the last digit of the original number and put it at the back of the reversed one. We will achieve that by multiplying the reversed number by 10 and adding the digit we get from the original number. Now, let's implement this approach. We need a starting point for the reversed number, which will be 0, and a copy of the original number, as we will be disassembling it. Now, we launch a while loop, which will run until we disassemble the copy. With each iteration, we will multiply the reversed number by 10 and add the last digit of the copy. Then we will remove the last digit of the copy, and once the loop is done, we are left with the original number and the reversed version of it. If those are equal, the number is a palindrome, and if not, it isn't. All three ways have time complexity of O of log x, as it will depend on the number of digits x has. Actually, it's log x base 10, but for the big O notation, the base doesn't matter. In terms of memory complexity, the first two would be O of log x. A string is an array, and we will need two strings where the number of characters will be equal to the number of digits in the original number. The last approach will have a memory complexity of O of 1, as we don't need any additional data structures that would depend on the number of digits in the original number. Those three approaches should help you to demonstrate your ability to find multiple solutions to the problem and manipulate data in different ways. I hope the video was helpful and you found the explanation you were looking for. I wish you all the best in your learning. If you liked it, please like and subscribe for more content like this. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.